Hello, everybody, and welcome to Drop In, Drop Out, a show where a mix of 7 gamers get together to talk about Pokemon Legends ZA and Keeper. Today, I'm joined by 2 of my guest hosts. Cognitive Clips, how are you?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing so well. And Jerica, how are you?
Phenomenal.
Oh, it is a phenomenal day to talk about video games because we have 2 fantastic new releases upon us, and one has been out since Thursday. It's Friday evening right now. Let's do the table setting the right way. It's Friday evening right now, 8 p.m.
Yes.
on the sharp. And basically, Pokemon came out Thursday, Wednesday night, midnight, Thursday morning, early, and then this afternoon at 1 p.m. Keeper came out. So I have
Your drop
put
time,
in,
by the way.
I agree. This Game Pass, man. Game Pass always has these drop times and like the middle of the day.
I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to download it. Shit, I got up early for nothing. And I was like, well, damn. Okay.
It's like between like 11 a.m.
rough.
and 1 p.m. And then once it goes live, it kind of like trickles out where like if you buy it retail, you can get it right then. But if it's Game Pass, it might take a little while to get its way to PC Game Pass. And then it comes to Xbox Game Pass. And it's just, I've had many times where I'm kind of like live and I'm like, oh, well, that comes out at Game Pass at 1. And I'm just sitting there like a jerk off twiddling my thumbs for until like 1:20 when I can actually grab it. A real pain. But either way, we've got a mix of us that have had hands-on with both of them. I've got hands-on Pokemon and Keeper. Jerica, you've played Keeper, correct?
Yes.
And Cog, you played Pokemon, correct?
Correct.
What a cast we have assembled.
We're
If you
prepared.
I know. If you like what you're hearing already, or if you're on the fence, just stay tuned. Give us a chance. But if you like what you're hearing already, dropindropoutpod.com to find all of us elsewhere. Come follow us on Instagram, on social networks. We're posting 3-4 times a week. All kinds of cool gaming stuff that you won't hear live on this podcast, but you can find across the internet. We're joined live, of course, on twitch.tv/dropindropoutpod by so many of our friends, including Kayla, the Dan Good Show. We've got Rabbit in here. We have Cirrus Shard in here. High Score Weekly. P Schwag. What a crew. Let's get into it. I think the order. Let me turn it over to you guys. Do we talk about Pokemon first or Keeper first? What makes more sense?
Well, Pokemon did come out first, technically.
Pokemon came out first. Now, Jerica, you haven't played Pokemon, so keep in mind if you have any questions about the game. Why?
Ask me why. So I feel like it was going to suck and be a waste of my money. So maybe it's not. I don't know. And I've read nothing else about it.
Okay. Feel free to butt in and ask us questions is what I would encourage you to do, because I would love to please your inquiring mind. Does that make that's fine. It's a fine thing to say to somebody, right?
And also, leave out the disclaimer. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. That's what the world to do. I don't hate on it because I hate it. I hate it because I love it so much. Like I wasn't prepared enough. Like I have everything. Look at this little Jigglypuff jack-o'-lantern.
Gosh.
I don't have a battery in its little candle, so I can't light it up right now. Like
that's so sweet.
My next tattoo is gonna be Pikachu and maybe some weird quote from the Silent Hill movie. We talked about that last night. But regardless, I love Pokemon.
Hell yeah. All right. Well then, listen, my short version is Jerica, run, don't walk to the Nintendo eShop to enjoy Pokemon in one of its truest forms so far for Pokemon Legends ZA. Cog, give me the quick rundown about what you're thinking about the game so far, and tell me how far into it you are as well. Give me the whole baseline here.
Good idea. So yeah, I'm about I stopped right before we went live. I was about 5.5 hours deep. So I'm like, as we all know, from you rank up in the battle royale or whatever, I'm still rank X. Like my next mission is to go from X to W or whatever it is.
Sure.
I am really, really digging this game, dude.
Yeah.
The changes to the combat, I didn't know how much of a shot in the arm that was going to be until I got my hands on it. It is awesome. Like I was definitely one of the people growing up and into adulthood when Pokemon games where I would get rid of like your leers and your growls and all that nonsense. Like first opportunity, like who uses those? All you need to do is just make the numbers go down and then you win, you know? But now that it's more active, the moves are all on a recharge. And so while my attack moves are recharging, I'm hitting leer, I'm hitting tail wag or whatever it is. And like, lowering their stats in between. So like, I mean, if you actually time things out, maybe it would still come down to being roughly a turn by turn thing. But the way that it feels, though, it feels really strategic to alternate. And so I'm really, really digging that.
It is,
another thing that else,
for me,
good.
I want to jump off of what you're saying immediately, and I apologize for interrupting,
Yes.
but the system that you're talking about with its cooldowns and the way that it uses its moves is one of the things that was like, I think they did a generally decent job of marketing the game, a bad job of like explaining what this game was going to feel like. And I really wasn't sure until I got on there and got my hands on the sticks and played for a couple hours until I figured out the gameplay loop and how things were going to feel compared to Pokemon Legends Arceus. And one of the things, the battle system, like you're saying, is fantastic. And the closest thing that I can compare it to, I've said this a lot on stream, and Jerica, I think this is going to be music to your ears. Chat, tell me if you agree. The closest thing that I have been able to like draw a comparison to is the fighting system from Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, in the way that I spend so much time looking at that bottom right corner of my screen and I'm paying attention to cooldowns, the way that you use your moves when you're on the field. Think about like you're playing as Cloud and your party is Tifa and Barrett, right? In Pokemon Legends ZA, your player character is Cloud, and your Pokemon that is on the field, the single Pokemon, is your Tifa and Barrett. So you are controlling your character with your left thumbstick and you're running around. And then Tifa and Barrett are kind of doing their own thing, but they're also sort of responding to you. And then you are issuing them commands via that bottom right corner where their ATB gauge is filling up. And as it fills up, you go, okay, now I can issue this command. Same deal with Pokemon. As I use a move, its cooldown starts and that thing kind of scrolls on up and I go, okay, it's time to issue that command, and then we're in business. It is really, really slick. I love it so much. A couple of good comments from the chat as well as we kind of continue on high level views here. Dan Good says, it's way better than I was expecting it to be. I fell off of Arceus and Scarlet fast, but this feels very fresh. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Sirius also agrees because it says it's refreshing, which is weird and rare to say about a Pokemon game. I agree.
Yeah.
Last Geek Plays also jumped in and said, the new Pokemon's combat is a ripoff of Digimon World for the PS1, and I'm the only one with the courage to say so. It's not entirely wrong. It's not perfect, but there's definitely some DNA there that can be traced back. Yeah.
I'm just like,
I don't
remember that. That's so long ago. Wow.
I know. Crazy. But yeah, the game itself is really good, and I hope that if I can accomplish anything throughout this podcast is to let people know that haven't played it what to expect from this game better than Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and Creatures Inc. did during their ramp up to this release, because I really didn't know what to fucking expect from this game. And I still am kind of baffled that they didn't explain that well, because I think it's really good. It's not completely fresh, but I think it's really, really good. Cog, how are you feeling about like the gameplay loop and I guess like the way that the story progresses? It's not your typical Pokemon where you're going to, 8 gyms, getting your badges and then continuing on, but it's also not entirely not that either. So take us away.
Yeah, so far it's been cool. Like you'll, as you would expect from a lot of modern games, not just Pokemon, like you do spend the first, I'd say 2 to 2.5 hours kind of a little bit on rails. Like there's a little bit of exploring you can do like in the middle of things, but a
little bit on rails.
Yes, sorry. It is very on rails. It's
I think it's got a rough first couple hours. Yeah.
She's like, meet me at this cafe. And I'm like, cool. I'm gonna take 10 steps to the left and just grab that Pokeball real quick. And then it's like, hey, meet me at this cafe. I'm like, listen to me. I'm gonna be there. Just give me a second.
For sure.
So like, and that's, again, it's a lot of games do that. It's not a Pokemon centric thing. It is a little frustrating, but again, after the first couple hours are done, it's a bit more open. But even within that, like what they showed in the trailers is kind of holds true. You've got the ZA Royale that's at night. You've got the wild zones you can kind of explore through the day. And there's also little side quests you can kind of do both with the detective chick. I forget her name. And then Mabel, the blue hair.
Emma. I will not forget her name.
Thank you, Emma and Mabel. One being like the detective person and one being the more like Pokemon research. So you're kind of doing a little bit of both. You're like doing research to help with Pokemon centric things and also helping people out with their problems that sometimes involve Pokemon. Sometimes, it's just find my ring that a Sableye took or whatever, but it's satisfying, dude. Like,
Oh yeah.
I wish that it didn't have to stop and show you that it was changing from night to day or day to night, but it's probably, hiding load times or something like that while it's doing it.
Sure.
I understand.
I forgot to mention. Sorry, I realized that I kind of fucked up. I had you table set, and I didn't table set with how much time I've spent in the game so far.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Where are you
Brace
at?
yourselves. I am 26 hours into Pokemon Legends ZA.
Jesus Christ.
I've played more since it came out. I've had more hours playing Pokemon Legends ZA than I haven't had playing Pokemon Legends ZA. I am very deep.
Wow.
Also, Coal Mines and Control have arrived in chat, and they both are mad that you've forgotten Emma's name, which makes sense to me.
I talked to her one time. Chill.
Okay, I've talked to her like 4 times, and let me tell you, Emma happens to be the battiest baddie that's ever existed in Pokemon, which is one of the things that, okay, it sounds like Jake's just being Jake and he's just talking about the hot video game characters again, which I am. But in general, I think this game is a huge step up on your NPCs. In the past Pokemon games, so often is like you're fighting against Hiker Jeremy, and then Hiker Jeremy looks just like Hiker Robert and Hiker John from like 10 minutes ago that you saw on the fucking train. And this game has like a lot of character models in general, and it still has those archetypes. Like you'll fight against like schoolgirl Jane, you know what I mean? Like on the way, it's like some fucking 12-year-old that throws a Pikachu at you, and then you'll meet schoolgirl Jocelyn down the road, and she'll be wearing the same outfit, but the skirt is a different color, and her hair is blonde, and her eyes are blue, and her facial features are completely different, and her skin is a different tone. And it doesn't seem like much, but it goes a really, really long way where I never feel like I'm seeing the same person over and over, which is something I could not say for any other Pokemon game.
How's the character creator and you both feeling like it's, I'm stepping into this world as like, a true RPG? Like, did that get enhanced at all, or is that pretty much
Cog
as expected?
Yes. Yes, it is so much better with all the customization. Like it's based off of Paris. So you like Lumio City. I'm sure you probably knew that. But all like the shops and stuff, like all the customization you can do with, this store has, like shirt and jacket combos. This store has more like sweaters or turtlenecks. This store has like, like almost like suit style, just like with just like a vest and like a bolo. Like there's a whole lot of different things you can like find and change your hair and change your shoes. Like every little piece of your outfit. Ooh. You can also immediately take off that stupid hat that you get that's at the start. You can take off right away.
Fuck ass hat, dude. They immediately for the tutorial, like she gives you like a hat for like welcome to Lumio's. Here's a hat to wear, and it's like the worst like red and white like fedora looking hat ever.
Is anyone else wearing that hat? Or is it just you?
No, it's just you. But it's like the tutorial of like how to equip like different outfits. So you put it on, and for a couple cutscenes, you're just stuck with this fucking hat. And that's like the first challenge that you have in that game is like, how do I change my fucking outfit? I got to take this hat off.
Right. But thankfully, it actually kind of tells you right away. Like I feel like in Scarlet and Violet, they like hit it in between like 4 button presses in the menu to find out how to do that. But this game is like, oh, you can just go in here and hit X and then select, and that's how you customize your outfit. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. And the actual amount of customization, I'm assuming that's what you're about to get into. Like the amount of stores, like when Cog says you can go to the store and this store has that and this store has that, a lot of times you'll find a random store on a city street that has cool stuff. But then there's also just like straight up like shopping centers and malls and like strip malls and shit that have like a dozen plus shops, all with different inventory. And with that different inventory, each shop has, let's say, 8 different items, a couple shirts, a couple pairs of pants, a couple pairs of sneakers, and some socks. And then all of those things that you can select and buy for different prices usually have a sub menu where you can then choose like a further color to customize as well. It is such a far cry from Scarlet and Violet, where you were basically wearing like one of 4 school uniforms and then customizing your hat. It is really, really impressive. Like to the point of
you can change your shoe color.
yeah. But it's to the point of like I've spent a lot of time being like, I need some black joggers to go with this dope ass blue top that I just found. Like I got this Slay character. I'm gonna keep her looking good, and I'm gonna travel a couple different places and keep my eye out for that. It is really, really impressive how much is going on like in the city, which I think is a good segue into the environment in the city itself, which I feel like in some ways is really good and in some ways is really bad. I personally feel like I'm missing a little something in a lot of ways, because Legends was so wide open and I loved the exploration in that game and I loved checking out those nooks and crannies. And some people would argue that that game was a bit barren of like landmarks and things to check out. And this game feels a little bit like an overcorrection to that, in everything is confined to this, like, arguably for video games, a pretty small map. Like if you're talking about like an open world, it's an open city with like, you know, main roads. But for the most part, I mean, you can run from the northernmost point to the southernmost point in about fucking probably what, 60 seconds less. I don't know. Not it wouldn't take very long to do so.
It wouldn't be that quick, but it wouldn't be super long either.
Yeah. That isn't to say that there's not a lot to do, because there is some density in this thing. You can go very high, you can get like up on some ladders. There's some really crazy kind of light platforming challenges that you have. Even though you can't jump, you can dive and you can do some weird stuff with that as well. It's very, very interesting. Now, the thing that was the most confusing to me that I want to make sure that I hit here, as far as the gameplay loop, when I want to make good on telling you guys like how this game plays, what to expect when you hop into Pokemon Legends EA. So you're not doing your typical Pokemon badge collection, right? What is the story then? You need to become the highest ranked Pokemon master in Lumio City, that uses mega evolutions as your goal via, you know, some fucking adults that need your help, right? The way that you do this is you have to climb the ranks from Z to A. Why they didn't just call that fucking number 20 something to number 1, I don't know. Instead, they made it a complete naming convention and put it in the title, and it makes no sense. Either way, basically what you're going to end up doing is you have this day and night cycle thing that it forces you into. Every day you can go on side quests, you can enter wild areas and catch Pokemon, you can go and do whatever the fuck you want. And then when night falls, a certain area in the city becomes a battle zone, and the battle zone sort of becomes a Pokemon dungeon. Think about like Team Rocket hideout or entering the Cerulean Cave or something like that.
That's a good way to put it, actually.
Yeah, there's trainers around corners. They're looking for you. You can sneak up on them and battle them. You're in this kind of like area where when you enter there, it's like entering the cave door. You know, now it's like, okay, there's going to be shit going on in here. If somebody looks at me, it's going to be gamer time. We're going to have to fight. It is pretty good. It is a little bit of a samey situation. You're just like, okay, this is like, now I'm entering battle phase. So for the next half hour, I'm just gonna be battling trainer after trainer after trainer after trainer, which is okay because that's how Pokemon late game kind of ends up anyway. But as you go on through the night, you're gaining some kind of points. And as soon as you hit the point cap that you need, you can go challenge the person who's a rank higher than you. So if you are you a rank Z, then you get 3,000 fucking battle points. And now you're going to go challenge the person who is rank Y so that you can ascend a rank when you beat them. So it's not unlike beating a gym leader. And go ahead.
Technically, you're both the same rank, but whoever wins that match ranks up.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Because they made a joke of the first guy that he's like le Z éternel, like he's lost like 50, 60 battles at rank Z. And
100 in a row. He's never won. He's the worst Pokemon trainer in any Pokemon game. What I think is like important to note here is that there was a point in this game where when I was like rank like fucking X or something like that, or W, I was like, Jesus Christ, okay, I've done this gameplay loop like 4 fucking times. You telling me I have to do this 20 plus times to finish this game? And the answer to that question is no. You do not fight every single rank. Sometimes you do rank up further than just a single rank, where you'll fight somebody and your performance in that match will dictate how high you rank up. However, I think that's all like scripted. It doesn't matter how you perform. It's not going to like change. Like you're always going to take that same jump. Where if I jumped from W to P, then you are too in your game as well. It's just kind of a story beat. But it is still very much like a mask for the same. Yeah, it is very much still a mask for the same structure in a game. I had a sequence last night that I won't get into specifically, like spoiler wise, as far as like the story beat goes. But the situation was so reminiscent of like Pokemon games to me at their worst, of like so much text, so much like quote unquote world building that's really like heavy handed, and like mini games. I was doing a fucking trivia quiz and listening to this character I didn't talk about monologue about their plans, and going on like a fetch quest to do it. It was very much like, sorry, the gym leader isn't here. They're over in the nearby cave. Maybe you could go talk to them. And you go there and they're like, hey, if you want to get in this fucking cave, you're gonna have to bring me a roast coffee. And I'm like, fuck, now I gotta find a fucking coffee. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of Pokemon thing that you usually end up in. You're gonna end up in that here too. Pokemon Legends DA isn't reinventing the wheel. So I think the actual structure of gaining your ranks is very similar to gaining your gym badges, especially now that I'm in the thick of it. I can see through their ruse of trying to be like, it's so much different than other Pokemon games. It's like, well, it's mostly the same.
Well, there's one important thing, though, that we haven't talked about yet that I think is a huge welcome change when it comes to like the ZA Royale stuff, especially, again, it takes a place of gyms. But instead of just, okay, I'm going to Misty's water gym, so I'm just going to like level up Pikachu for 5 minutes and then just go like one shot everything. Even the first person, like for the rank Z battle, he throws out a water type, a normal / flying type, and then an electric type. So you actually have to have some kind of a strategy. You actually have to have like a team with you. And I was like, this is only the first battle, and it wasn't like difficult, but I was like, this is really cool. Like, I'm glad that I actually have to like, I can't just, grind one Pokemon anymore. I actually have to have like a solid lineup. And so now what I've been doing, I'll go through the day catching more like, the wild zones and doing side quests and stuff like that with like maybe I'll throw in like half or more of my team as like a little bit lower level so they can get some experience points and level up. But then once night falls, I'm going in to like actually do the fights, then I'm going to go like switch it out and make sure I'm on my strong team and like have a good variety in there too, because I don't know what I'm going to run into. And it's not even just the rank up battles that do that. It's just, even schoolgirl Jocelyn, she might have like a Weedle and then a Pikachu. You know what I mean? Like it's really cool that they're finally actually making people have sensical teams like you've been doing for like 30 years in these games. Like they've probably made other people do it too within the world. And it's a really, really welcome shakeup for me, I think.
Not me. Last time I played
it is.
Last time I played Pokemon was Pokemon Leaf Green for 420, and I was a fucking grass Pokemon only trainer. All right.
Nice.
But I will say that is a good point and a great segue into like the fact that I have died in this game multiple. Like I could go an entire Pokemon generation without taking like a full KO party wipe, you know? Not the case here. I do feel like I am actually getting my ass handed to me a couple times per session, where I'll just be like, fuck, I didn't realize I was that low. And then also when I'm in those battle zones, they are very much like, you do have a little bit of urgency to it. I mean, you can have as many day-night cycles as you want, and you can go rest in your bed if you are able to, head over to like the hotel that you stay at. Yeah, Hotel Z, which by the way, we have to talk about that freakishly large man. Maybe for another podcast. Either way, that's a teaser. If you're interested in the freakishly large man, check out Pokemon Legends EA in stores now.
What that large man do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I have found myself being like, okay, well, I'm in here battling, I'm getting my ass kicked, I'm switching out Pokemon, and all of a sudden I'll enter a battle and I'll look at my team and I'll be like, fuck, all I have is like this one Pokemon and then two more that are like a quarter health. I have to either get the fuck out of here after this fight and heal up, or I have to use my items while I'm in the battle, which is also very cool. So yeah, there's definitely like a difficulty increase as well. It's pretty impressive. Cog, what are we forgetting about this game? And Jerica, what are you wondering about this game? That's a good podcast habit, is ask two people two different questions at the same time and then see who comes back with what. Ready?
You've
go.
answered all my questions. I just need to know, is it fun? Is it fun to
It's
be your
so
own
fun.
character? And is the clothes great? So like that's all I need to know.
Yeah. And the clothes are absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
And
I thought of one. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go.
How does it run? Is it
So
smooth
well.
as butter or is it janky?
So well.
Really
Good.
smooth on Switch 2. Cannot speak
I was
to
wondering.
Switch 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then again, it is a Switch 1 game, so it's not really pushing the envelope here. We're just using like a Nintendo Switch 2 edition or whatever. So
But it does look very nice though. Like the It's pretty to look
I
at.
agree. Yeah, it's the best looking
Loading
Pokemon game
times are
that's ever
very
been made,
brief.
for sure.
Yeah. The only things I had jotted down that we haven't like specifically dove into yet.
Dropped into.
I think it is a little bit clunky. Like again, I love the more real time battle system. It's a little clunky because like if you are in like a wild Pokemon situation and not an actual trainer battle, then you kind of have to like you have to hold down the left trigger to do your moves for your Pokemon, but you have to let go of the trigger to actually like do your dodges and that kind of a thing. So like if it's a situation like where it's an alpha Pokemon or just one that's like attacking you and not your partner Pokemon, then like I'm like trying to hold down the trigger and then like do the move, but I'm about to get hit. And if I get hit too much, then you get blacked out. And so it's like it's a little clunky, but I think that again, I'm only a fourth of the way through compared to Jake, so I'm sure it probably gets easier the more you play.
No, I think that's a really good point, is that, and it also circles back to something that I wanted to follow up on that you had mentioned too, Cog, about like the opening hours of the game, is I think that it is a little clunky at first. It's like a good video game is easy to learn, hard to master. Whereas this game is hard to learn, hard to master, if I were to really like put an actual like title on it. I think that it is not the most intuitive control scheme. I think that it takes some time onboarding for everything to really feel right. And I would argue that it doesn't really hit its groove until you've been like aptly challenged, if that makes sense. So now that I'm pretty deep into the game, some of these alpha Pokemon fights are really complex, where I was like having trouble getting like the player character KO'd. Whereas in most of the fights prior to that, I was just kind of standing fucking still. I just pushed myself on like the left of the fight and just tell my Pokemon to whack this dude until he was dead. And then when I started to have to like do my dodge rolls and stuff, and you were having to like cycle between using your Pokemon to attack and then managing your own body's position in your dodge rolls and your sprints to evade things, everything started to kind of click into place. I started to realize how my Pokemon moves when I am not issuing a command, like the way that it follows back to me. What happens when I issue a command if I'm mid sprint and then I take off in the left, he's going to kind of run back, kind of slanted to the left to get back to me. And it all sort of clicks into place in a way that ends up making a lot of sense and feels very satisfying once you get there. But it did take a long time to get there, if that makes sense. And that is also
I
to
can
say,
see that being the case.
Yeah, that's also to say that those first 2 hours, it's a lot of like, with a lot of Pokemon stuff, we're going to talk about this. Pokemon all the time is like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, where they'll do something fantastic, but then they'll be like, okay, yeah, but it's really good. We fixed the battle system. There's all sorts of customization, and you're confined to a big round city. It's like, well, fuck. Like 2 of those things sound great, and one of those things sounds kind of weird. Which is standard fare for Pokemon at this point. However, I do feel like the onboarding is a necessary evil, those first 2 hours, because that was something that I remember as far back as like Sun and Moon. When Sun and Moon came out, they talked about how they wanted that tutorial, that opening hour, to be like, listen, we know a lot of people have played Pokemon. This is like one of the biggest gaming franchises, the biggest IP that's ever existed. We know that not everybody needs to be taught the basics of like, this is the world of Pokemon. Pokemon battles occur when a trainer's eyes meet yours. Right. Like, those have been really long and annoying in the past, and they have taken strides to fix that over the years. It's been a topic of conversation and like a marketing point in Pokemon games prior to this, where they have been like, just so you guys know, like the opening of this game is really tight, really quick. You're picking your starter within fucking 4 minutes, and you're in your first Pokemon battle, and this is happening and that's happening, and then you're on your adventure within fucking 15. And that's really, really fun when it works out this way. This game takes all of that and throws it out the door. And it's mostly because there's so much to teach you. Like the onboarding, like it's going back to the difficult to learn, difficult to master. It's the difficult to learn part. There is a lot of things at play. It took a while, and I understand why there was a communication block between like what this game was going to feel like as it was being explained to me over the years, between when it was announced and now. Because still, like I said, going into this game, I was like, I don't really know like what the fuck I'm getting into or how this whole thing works. Like something about daytime and nighttime and Z to A challenges. There's so many new mechanics. There's so many adjusted mechanics. It is almost a completely different game than Legends Arceus. You know, like it is tough to also draw the parallel of what stuff initially popped up in Arceus and what stuff is from Scarlet and Violet, because Scarlet and Violet also borrowed so much from Pokemon Legends Arceus. But in general, more so even than Arceus, I would argue that outside of the battle system, this feels more like a traditional Pokemon game than Arceus did. Would you agree?
Yeah, I picked up Arceus earlier this year. I think it was toward the beginning of the year, just to kind of like, I don't know, fill the void kind of thing. And it was cool at first.
In your heart.
Right. I think I only got past like the first two of the, like, you know, taming the angry totem Pokemon or whatever they're called. I can't remember the term they used.
Sure.
And after that point, it got kind of like, I tried to not focus too much on how barren things were and like all that kind of thing, but it gets tough after a while, honestly. And that's kind of why I don't mind that they dialed it back and put it all in one city, because it's like they tried to fully open to a certain extent games in a row, and the results were pretty mixed. Like the gameplay itself was really cool. The changes they made in both games were like, the gameplay changes were cool, but the actual like exploring around and stuff was pretty like, you know, I remember cracking up because in Arceus there is, you know, one of those types of cutscenes where it pans to like your player's face and they go like, because they're like so in awe of the scenery, it just cuts over and it's like the ugliest shit I've seen in years.
That sounds right. I mean,
like unintentionally hilarious, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like
it's a weird progression to me though. Like when you think about what they were doing with like the exploration and it being stale, I agree with you. But it's like, instead of fixing that with Pokemon Legends ZA from Pokemon Legends Arceus, they very much were just like, we'll just take it out then. Okay, you guys don't like the exploration? Well, we'll just fucking take it out. And it's like, what no, we want the exploration. We just want it to be better. And they're like, no, you don't get different biomes anymore. You get one fucking city. And it's like, oh, well, okay, well, at least I have the different Pokemon that I can travel on. They're like, no, you don't travel on Pokemon anymore, which was such a core part of Pokemon Legends Arceus. And I thought that was such a cool thing, was that you got like fucking Sneasel and now you can climb walls and cliffs. And it had kind of this like Breath of the Wild thing going on where you were jumping around and gliding and flying and swimming. And in this game, you're just on foot and you can't even jump. And I feel like that is a step back in a lot of ways.
I would agree with that.
And this is from someone who loves this game. Like, I really do like it.
But in true Pokemon fashion, though, it's like they both take something away from you and also give you something kind of cool, because like what we haven't quite touched on yet, again, is like, this is like the other point that I had not gotten to yet, was like the verticality of the city. Like I think they showed you in one of the very first trailers of the game, like, oh, you can explore the rooftop, and it showed you like 4 seconds of that. That's actually a pretty cool part of the game. Like there's Pokemon that are more likely to be. Yeah,
I did make a face that sounded that didn't sell me. That pitch didn't sell me. Explore the roof with your Pokemon.
Yeah, like, wow.
No, I don't want to explore the roof, but I guess it's sort of fun.
Again, it's one of those things where like they didn't describe it very well, so you don't really know until you have like you're on the sticks. And the rooftops themselves are, not only are they like, they kind of find like sneaky ways to have you get up there, like almost like hidden routes sometimes, like little shortcuts you can do. But since again it's based off of Paris, and so the rooftops themselves are a lot of times pretty. Like they have like little rooftop gardens. There's Pokemon up there that are more likely to be found up higher up than on the ground, and so you'll see like Pidgeys and, you know, Fletchlings and Floettes and stuff like that are more likely to be found up there. And it just gives you something else to do besides just walking on the ground. Is it
wall textures?
Selling?
How about those wall textures?
No one has to tell me about the textures. I know they're bad.
Look, I mean, even running Pokemon Violet on Switch 2, it like zooms in with the Pokeball shaking, and it's like N64, dude. And even that's kind of insulting to N64. So
Is it? I don't know much about Game Freak and their development and how all this works. But it's like, is it the engine that's holding them back, or them not being prepared for like Switch 2, or is it a combination of things, or having a Pokemon game like every year too much? Like, I don't know.
I think
It's a mismanaged fucking team. Sorry, Cog.
No, you're good.
It is the budget for these games. Pokemon, make no mistake,
Yeah.
Pokemon is the biggest IP in the world. It is bigger than Mickey Mouse and Friends. It is bigger than Mario. It is the second place biggest IP, is less than half of what Pokemon has brought in its lifetime for cumulative money. And that is all based around a video game series. And the fact that the budget for this game is like 1/4 of what a fucking like Assassin's Creed gets is mind blowing to me. It is a budget issue, and it is insane that there is not more funds allocated to this team to grow. And I don't know where the disconnect is in the chain, the hierarchy. It's got to be because of how poorly the way that like the C-suite is organized there, because Pokemon in its own right is a combination of 3 companies coming together to make a product. It's Game Freak, it's Nintendo, and it's Creatures Inc. And everybody has a say when you're at the fucking meeting. And you can tell that there is just like something that stinks there, because it's still not where it should be. Even, and I don't know when, obviously when there was like the big like Pokemon Giga leak that really brought a lot of this to light years and years ago. And I'm not sure if the development cycle has really caught up there.
I remember something with that and something really weird about somebody else.
Typhlosion.
Okay, that was it. That was it, y'all. I think someone here told me the story. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Probably we should have a dramatic read through of it at some point.
Yeah.
I believe it breaks Twitch TOS, unfortunately, but that's official Pokemon company
some rules.
Yeah,
for sure. Whether you wanted them buttered or not, unfortunately, with Typhlosion, if that makes sense. Jesus.
Yeah.
From that.
Oh no.
It's a messy situation over there, and that is despite making a game that I gobble up every single time I know I'm part of the problem, it is not a game that is getting developed properly by a proper team at this point anymore. It needs more money. It needs more people on the case. I'm not sure why they're adverse to doing that. They don't seem interested in spending more money to hire more people. And I'm not sure if that's because they like their in-house team so much and they want to keep the scope small, but it always seems like they are coming up short, and it seems like there's not enough money put in. There's not enough people on staff. There's not enough hands in the pot. The games need a longer development cycle or more money and more people on the teams is the long and short of it.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because I don't know the exact answer, but is this the longest time in between games that we've ever had
for an actual like generation of mainline games?
Mm-hmm. Because Scarlet Violet and Arceus was it 2022? I think
it's 2021.
Shit, I feel like
I might be fucking wrong though.
Why did I think it was last year? And I'm like, cool.
Because they usually are. They usually are like a 1 year cycle, which is
I don't know. Sword and Shield was a really long time too, but
I started it.
Completely unsure.
Yeah.
Either way,
for the first time in a long time.
There's also a fat fucking leak the other day of Pokemon stuff. Have you guys heard that?
Yeah.
I saw like some screenshots, but I was just like, I'll see
leak
it
or something.
When I see it.
It's
that was pretty wild.
Pokemon Wind and Waves, I think.
Is the alleged
for like that before.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ever look like it, so
right.
That's
just another version of Red and Blue. And then there's also another Legends game, and then there's a third game that is like 5 years plus out that has to do with like an open MMO type experience that involves like Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, like all of the Japanese locations that we've seen in those original 4 Pokemon games.
I would sign up for that. That's what I want.
Yeah, that'll get
I want to play with y'all
back in the door. Same, for sure.
I want to battle you guys,
especially
and tell y'all you suck and kill your Pokemon. Sorry,
but more importantly, don't you want to show up wearing the dope fit you just bought and fucking show it off to the homies? Yes. Like that is the one thing. Yeah, I would also like this is the first time where I feel fulfilled in my glam. I guess like. This is my first time like playing a Pokemon game where I feel like my character is mine and no other character looks like me. And I want that for my Pokemon. I want that for my Pokemon.
I love that. Oh, the Pokemon.
Yeah.
They can't wear clothes
no.
yet?
No. That's what I
No
want to figure
shoes,
out is I want to figure out
flip-flops?
when a Pokemon can
butt
do that
naked.
as well. Like when can I know we have Pokemon that come out, they're normal,
Flare.
then you can get the shiny version. When can I get like 6 different shades and choose like I want blue Charizard and shit like that? Let me customize my Pokemon.
People go to like a dog salon and the dogs come out
Yeah.
looking like lions and leopards. Like that's
Or
safe for
like,
dogs. Not safe. Is it
think
safe
about
for
like
Pokemon?
think about it like a frog. Like when you fucking stumble on a bullfrog, they don't all have the same exact markings and patterns and shade of fucking
I've
green.
stared at a lot of bullfrogs in my day,
Yeah.
and you are right.
You know, I think there's something to say there.
Is that a euphemism for something?
That's all I got for
sounded like it, but
Pokemon.
no.
Generally, I'm feeling really hot on it. Here's the thing. We have this whole conversation. I dog on it quite a bit. I tell you some things that I like about it. In general, more than anything else, is I'm enjoying this game way more than I enjoyed Scarlet and Violet at any point. It's the most I've enjoyed a Pokemon game since Legend Arceus, and Legend Arceus was the most I enjoyed a Pokemon game since Ruby and Sapphire, maybe. Really, really strong. And right now, I want nothing more than to wrap this podcast up and play more of it. You know, like that's the kind of
Yes.
that's the kind of like draw that game has for me, which is a really good sign, truly. So Pokemon gets a big fucking thumbs up.
I saw that Gold and Silver's 20th anniversary. Was it 20th or was it even longer? I don't know.
I want to say
I know it's longer.
2000. It's longer, yeah. I want to say 2001 or 2000.
Because I know how old I am.
Gold
It was
and
an
Silver,
anniversary. 30 years? No.
yeah.
No.
I think 25 years.
Okay. Phew.
Yeah, 30 for the
years is
series
correct.
maybe, but not for Gold and Silver now.
Not
But
30
I,
yet
I
for
saw
the
something
series.
else, like,
90,
okay.
98 for the
God.
series, I think, for the US at least. So we're
Yeah.
pushing it.
Gold and Silver was
Let's get
my
into Keeper.
favorite
Oh,
Pokemon games.
Hey. I
Keeper.
was going to get my wrap up real quick. Okay,
Oh.
fine.
All right, what do you have? It better be something I haven't heard already. Ready,
No,
go.
like, I mean, it seems like maybe I'm a little bit more happy with some of the changes than you are, but I still agree largely. Like, yeah, it's not perfect. They've still got a few changes they could make for future games, but having a lot more fun than I even thought I was going to. And Jerica, pick it up now.
For what?
Yeah.
Switch
What
to
am I
Jerica,
picking
you
it
gotta-
up?
You gotta get Pokemon and show us your fits.
Oh, I was like,
You have
what
to
am
buy
I picking
Pokemon
up?
and start playing it.
the game.
I
The
don't
game
have
we're
time.
talking about, Jerica.
I'm going to do that after next year.
Honestly, yeah,
maybe
I wouldn't
I'll-
rush to it.
Play
Yeah.
it before the next big one comes out. Because I thought I would do
There
that
you
with
go.
Scarlet, and look where we're at. Hold me
There
to
There
it,
you
y'all.
go. We can do that.
Yes. I do want to hear about
All right.
Keeper because that's the one that I have not played. So regale me with your
Yeah.
tales of Keeper.
So Keeper, a little bit of table setting because I feel like everybody and their mother knows what Pokemon is, and some people are going to listen to this.
No
and be
one
like,
knows
what the
what
fuck is
Keeper is.
Yeah, exactly. Keeper
No one
is
knows.
a new, I would call it 3D adventure, puzzle adventure game from Double Fine, who are best known for creating Psychonauts and Brutal Legends, I would say. Brutal Legend, singular. There's only one Brutal
That was them
Legend.
too.
Yeah.
Broken
I didn't
Age,
realize that.
Brutal Legend.
Yeah.
And Psychonauts. And this is a very, very unique game. It launched today, just mere hours ago on Game Pass, because Double Fine is a Microsoft subsidiary these days, first party developer. So you can play it on Game Pass right now if you have it on Xbox or on PC. And it is a weird fucking game. Jerica, you and I both played it today. We both streamed it today, and we both got to the same point in the game about 2 hours in. Tell me
That was
your
not planned.
thoughts. No, it wasn't.
was really
It
funny.
It
I love that
felt
so
right
much.
though, right? For a session. Didn't
Yeah,
that feel like a good
it
chunk of
did.
game?
It did. And I'm really curious like how long it goes, but because I thought I'd be sitting down and like accidentally like just get through it all. Cause I'm like, it's only a $30 game. It's on Game Pass. And I don't want it to end because it so far, let me break it down what it is real quick. If you haven't heard of it, let me try to describe the best I can. So I think you are some kind of critter. Let me paint this stage. There's no humans here. The world has ceased to exist. There's a lot of broken shit everywhere. I feel like I'm in a
Sounds
painting,
good.
like in a weird, surreal painting. Everywhere I turn, That's the atmosphere. And then there's like this critter with legs that has attached itself to a lighthouse, and you wake up by leaning your body like the, you know, that famous tower in France, whatever,
pizza.
you know, the leaning tower of Pizza. That's what I call
Pizza,
it.
correct, yeah.
And then you finally start walking around like a baby deer. And I'm like, is this the first time this thing's ever walked around? And I'm like, oh shit, this is a walking sim game. I'm going to love the hell out of it. God, we've had such a great year for walking games. I've said this during the stream. Death Stranding, Baby Steps, and now Keeper. But don't worry, it's definitely in its own category. But it's all about you walking around. You have a bird friend that just happened to land on you, and that seems to be what woke you up. I don't know. And you guys are working together you're going on an adventure. I don't know where you're going, but you're working together to solve puzzles. And literally, I love it. But then I also feel so lonely in the game. It's just like me and this bird and like a few little things that I'm seeing in the world. I'm like, are they alive? This is what has happened to whatever AI, humanoid, like has humans like left the planet, and now it's like crustaceans and legs and bug parts living on the planet. I hope
those are the big three.
That's how I can describe it, basically.
It's going to be interesting. So listen, this is absolutely a part one of a 2-part conversation, because just hearing Jerica describe what she thinks is going on in this game is so interesting, because it is all open for interpretation. So once everybody rolls credits on it, I know P-Swag's going to play it. Jerica, if you see it through, if anybody else on the team ends up going all the way through it, I am very interested to see where this game goes. Because again, we're only a couple hours into what is at least I think a 6-hour game.
Yeah.
I want to see what everyone thinks was going on, because this game, like Jerica was saying, you look at this game and it looks like a watercolor painting. It is one of the prettiest games, not only in graphics with really nice lighting that I'm playing right now, but also in just its art direction and style, where nothing is like photorealistic. It's all kind of like artistically shaped and interpreted. And because of that, the visuals are super striking, and it's very interesting every time the camera pans around. And the game itself has no dialogue and no text outside of like a button prompt where it'll be like press X to send, what's the
bird
name?
Can't
Nails?
emote.
Twig, send twig, or pick up, things like that. It is really, really impressive what this game does from like a show don't tell standpoint. And the actual gameplay itself, when we're talking about like graphics and visuals, it has a fixed camera at all times, but the camera isn't.
I love that
bad.
shit so much.
Yeah, it's impressive. The way that the game works is you use your left stick to steer your lighthouse, right? And the lighthouse has the bird standing on top of it. And as you steer your lighthouse around, the camera pans automatically. Sometimes it will follow you like it's third person. Sometimes it will zoom out and give you a really nice shot of like you crossing a bridge, and you'll see the majestic scenery around. Yeah.
It just occurred to me. It's almost like if this was a book, imagine you're flipping a page and just watching where your character goes. And that is exactly sort of why I thought, and apparently this was said in the chat when you were streaming it, Jake, like this is a perfect setup for a VR game too. Cause like I want to be in this world so bad. But yeah, it's like you're looking at a book. Like you were just at the mercy of this fixed perspective, but it does such a good job that I'm never feeling like I'm missing something.
Right.
That's gonna be my question.
So see other things.
Yeah.
So the camera actually it works well with that fixed perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes the camera is because there's like a lack, there's no compass, there's no golden fucking path or anything like that. Sometimes the camera is it will seem like your enemy, but it's in fact your best friend, because it's kind of pushing you in the right direction.
Yeah. I sort of like having that, not tunnel vision, because that sounds negative, but I sort of like being forced to not feel like I have to look around all the time. It's actually it relaxed me a lot when I was playing this game.
100%.
Obviously, like we've come a long way, but of course, you go back to like, Resident Evil 1 and that fixed camera. It's like you accidentally turn 3/4 and it like shifts all the way and you're at the other end of the hallway and you don't know what you're doing.
It's
like, I'm glad that it's not
dynamic camera. I think is a better way to put it. It's not like this thing is in the top left corner like a fucking CCTV camera. You know what I mean? Watching your every move, and then you get to the next one and it's completely different.
Filter. I would love to see that filter with this.
But the dynamic camera I think is really, really interesting, and it helps more than hurts. Where I don't know how I would navigate that world or know what to do next if it wasn't for the camera kind of like positioning me like, oh, well, obviously I go top right here, and I do get kind of crossed up sometimes, but overall very, very impressive. And the reason, what it allows you to do is because you're not controlling the camera with the right thumbstick. Your right thumbstick is used on a 3D pane to move your spotlight, searchlight, whatever light is you find at the top of a lighthouse around. And that is your main way of interacting with the world. You can put your beam of light around different things, then you can hold right trigger to focus that light, which will usually affect something in the world, like it'll open a door or activate a switch. And it's a combination of that mixed with commanding your bird to go to places and do certain things that allow you to solve puzzles throughout the world. Really fucking
just kill
unique
your bird.
Puzzles too. Or
like
you
I
do
did
kill
today.
your bird. Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you how or why.
It is the coolest mechanic that I've seen in a game in a long time. Where
it's legit.
Yeah, I feel like this is a game that's like, much like Pokemon Legends ZA, very important to kind of explain like what to expect if you were to pick up this game, and it wasn't explained to me beforehand. Basically, the way that I'm seeing it is like it's a walking simulator, and every once in a while, once you've found your destination, you end up in a very small sandbox, almost like you're interacting with like a diorama around you of things that are smaller than you that you need to solve or interact with. So it's like walk, get to next destination, puzzle area. And
it's like Pokemon Snap in some ways. Like I felt at one point I was like, this just reminded me of Pokemon Snap, but without the Pokemon in the camera. Because you have to get the environment.
Otherwise, it's just like it.
Funny enough, but that kind of mechanic, like I like that. Yeah. It's like you're on, I don't know, like literally the train or the little car.
Like on rails, basically. So
yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
But you're not.
But
you get to
the pacing in the game that I've played so far has been very straightforward. Tutorial, you kind of run through. It's showing you some of the mechanics. This is how you move your bird. This is how you move your light. This is how you focus your light. You get through that, and then you kind of get to your first like roadblock, your first puzzle, and you have like this bridge, and you're like, I gotta make this bridge appear. So you go down to the right and you focus your light on the thing, and it makes the first half of the bridge appear. And you kind of circle back. It does look like a butthole. You circle back, you go to the left, you focus your light on that, it makes the left side of the bridge appear. Now your bridge is good and you can cross it. That happens again, and then it happens a third time. When you get there for the third time, you have to find, I think the first time it's like you need to find 2 medallions and insert them into like a thing to progress. And then when you get to the third one, you need to find these 3 parts that you put into a machine to progress, to get to the next story beat. But each one is wrapped around a different kind of like biome and a different theme. The most recent one that we did, we won't give away the mechanic, Jerica, but it was like a little city full of like these weird little creatures. And it was the most pleasant thing in the world, while also being the creepiest in some ways. Like, with the adjustment that you make.
I love that combo.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think the reason why you and I both stopped at the same time, Jerica, is basically like there's this, we approach this like city, this society of small creatures, and you solve like a problem there, right? You rebuild the machine or whatever, and the fucking creatures like throw you like a parade. Like there's like a celebration once you've like figured it out and you're moving on. It's like playing music and there's confetti and they're all hyped, and you walk out of there with like your head held high. You're like, yeah, I fucking solved that shit. And I was like, you know what? This is a great place to end this session. Like I just fucking nailed it.
It wasn't like it was complicated, but not like super difficult. It was just the right amount. But after playing at least for a couple hours, I wanted a break. But not because it wasn't good. It's just like I just felt so accomplished. I'm like, that's a bookend right there. I'm good.
It's a smooth, it's a easy to learn, easy to master game, if that makes sense. Where in the 2 hours that I played, it was an easy onboarding, and then as I got into it, it was just more and more satisfying, more and more like smooth operation. I understood what the puzzles were asking of me. I started to big brain things, and I'm like, and now the bird's gonna go over there, and I'm gonna shine my fucking light, and this thing's gonna lower, and then do it, and I'm like, yes, I'm the fucking best who's ever done it. Play clapping sound.mp3. I might have that programmed in here. So I do, yeah. You can hear it in the podcast. You guys can't hear it, but I played the clapping sounds. It was very good.
That's cool.
I can't wait to go back and listen to that. So how are they, like, as far as the how do the puzzles feel? Like, are they a good mix of like it's not too challenging and then like they're interesting, or is it like this is kind of easy and you can see yourself getting bored of it in the next 4 hours kind of thing? Like how do you feel about the puzzles themselves?
I think at first they are pretty entry level, like getting you a sort of, I think to Jake's point, they're sort of wrapped around the area you're in, but they progressively get a little bit more complex as far as like most of the puzzles in the first, I guess, hour are just sort of in your face in one area really, or to the door to the left or the right. I just got to go in there and then I get to the main door. And this last, the city that we were in was actually behind like 3 separate parts of the city. And there was a new way of solving the puzzle, but like I feel like the formula of the puzzle is like step 1, step 2, step 3, and it's pretty simple. But it got harder because of the scale of the puzzle, I think, this last time.
Okay.
So
the scale of the puzzle and like a slight adjustment to the mechanic, but you already sort of know it too because you've made the adjustment. It's going to be that puzzle in particular, that last one that we did. I don't know if they top that in this game, but I'm really excited to just talk about that mechanic because it was one of the more exciting ways of solving a puzzle that I've experienced.
I was like, shit, that egg's heavy.
Years.
I just want to say weird stuff like that.
It's so fucking
that's a heavy egg.
It is so weird. But yeah,
it is the egg that wears the crown. Yeah.
So true. Really hot on Keeper. I'm digging it. Jerica, what are we forgetting? Is there anything that we need to say about Keeper?
No, I think it's I think you said it, like it's one of those games that show don't tell.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad it's literally only $30. And I think as I was playing, I was like, this don't feel like a $30 game. Right. Like this seems like a game that should cost more money. Even though it's on Game Pass, I didn't want to resubscribe to Game Pass, so I just bought it.
Yeah, sure.
Because I was like, it's $30. Like
Same
it was
fucking
$30.
price. Now
like,
you get it forever.
I know, right? I don't have to keep paying because I knew I'd forget to, unsubscribe. Yeah. So, but yeah, I was just like, this is just gorgeous. Like if you're a fan of like What Remains of Edith Finch, or those storytelling, like you're on an adventure, you want to relax, but also have like a little bit of a challenge. Like it's perfect. And I think I obviously want to get to the end because I need to know like how this story wraps up and am I going to cry? I feel like there is a chance I might cry.
I am in the same boat.
There's a chance.
There was the same lighthouse.
So basically you're controlling the bird in the lighthouse the entire time. And it's just one of those fucking situations where like at one point the lighthouse and the bird get separated and you're controlling the lighthouse and you don't have your fucking bird and everything feels bad and you're mad. And then you finally fucking reunite with the bird and they're both like so jolly and kind of happy to see each other. And I'm like, oh, they're my fucking friends. Like they're so nice. They're so sweet. They're going
and then someone shoots the bird.
Yeah, something bad's going to happen. It's going to be a nightmare. But this right here is what I call a successful drop in, drop out, bonus drop, messy pod, whatever you want to call it. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Find us on another platform. You can find us at dropindropoutpod.com. It'll get you everywhere you need to go, whether you're looking for stuff from youtube.com/@cognitive clips with no hyphen, whether you're watching live on Twitch at JK Games Podcast, or you're finding me across the internet at amazingstreamer.com. What you got
Take
there?
it off my shirt. I'm just kidding. It's just my backlog of Doom shirt.
The backlog of Doom shirt available now.
I've got the red shirt today.
Oh, yeah. Look at us all in our merch. I'm wearing fucking Kid Cudi merch. What's wrong with me?
I saw that sweatshirt. Nice. I do like that sweatshirt. I've seen it around.
Thank you so much.
I guess you were just on the pursuit of happiness, man,
Yeah, so true. Very well put. Shout out to everybody that joined us today live in the chat. Shout out to our 2 new follows. I see Logan the Goat and Verum Dex, which I think is a Kingdom Hearts reference, which I love. Very, very nice. That's all we got for you until next week. We've got a fun podcast and week of content planned for you. Appreciate everybody watching. We're going to wave at the camera until the show ends now.